You were the one that told him to leave? Yeah.
Well, usually I carry it with me, and then as soon as I see that the other person doesn't really care about it, then I say, be polite.
How are you?
No idea if this can I use this mic? Yeah. Yes, you can.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
Great story that
Thank you.
Yes.
Roll call.
I guess so. Can you see who I am?
You know, it's going to get to a point where we won't recognize each other unless we got a mask on.
Right.
Put your ass back out. Yeah, there's been a more robbery, so I'll go record.
Right.
Morning. Afternoon.
Okay, it's Carrie.
No, I see it. I thought I recognized you, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. We have roll call. Looks like all members of the budget board are present. Let's go ahead and do the usual thing we've been, actually, I guess it's kind of moot to do number one since we are all here in person. So I would notice the meeting was properly posted on May 21st, 2020. Mr. Stein, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Then next item will be item 2. This is a proposed transfer of general fund appropriations to the election board for an inbound mail processor and folder inserter. So I don't know if anybody from the election board is here to speak at it, but it sounds like a motion to approve. Second. We got a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? And we'll go ahead and, are we voting on machines or just call roll? Or call voice vote. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item, item 3, is for emergency management. It's transferring $800 from operations to benefits. Sounds pretty self-explanatory unless somebody has a question for Mr. Barnes. Motion to approve. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 4 is discussion and possible action regarding an update on policies and procedures or recommendations from BET regarding the newly created CARES Fund. Ms. Compton.
Good afternoon. I'll try to be brief. On your agenda, items number 5 and 6. 5 is a recommendation from BET. 6, it mentions it's a recommendation, but we didn't have quite broad enough language to make that recommendation. The dollar amount of $500,000 was discussed. Nobody seemed to have any heartburn on it, but we didn't technically make a recommendation on that. But we did make a recommendation on 5, which would be a new cost center set up so you can shift money into that. And then Mr. Barnes, as he needs to make PPE purchases, there's money there available so he can move if there is a good price on some of the PPE. The other thing that we're working on currently, I've gotten with MIS on our departments that have already spent money in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. We're working with IT to spin up an application on InfoZone for departments to be able to provide a certain amount of information that BET will then be able to get and start processing those requests and get those to budget board so you guys can make a decision whether you want to fund those, or I'm sorry, not fund, but reimburse those expenses or not. We're still in discussion coming up with policies and procedures for future projects that county departments may want to have related to the CARES Fund, as well as any other applicable bucket that we may establish, whether that's for cities and towns, nonprofits, whatever else. We're still in the early discussions as it relates to those other functions.
Any other questions for Mr. Thompson? Okay, any other discussion?
Do you all, as the ET, do you all have any sort of time frame worked out of how long you'll be looking over these things and making recommendations to the budget board, or you're not sure yet?
I think it's going to be an ongoing process. We talked about scheduling weekly meetings. We still have a few things up in the air. We're trying to work on a schedule. So if budget board, we're going to meet, say on Thursdays, we're trying to work backwards from a VOCC claims on Wednesdays backwards to figure out what our schedule is going to be. But I anticipate us having weekly meetings for quite some time, specifically to address the CARES dollars.
Okay, further questions?
Motion to repeat for report. Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Item 5. I think it was just mentioned about setting up the special projects fund. Are there any questions?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the action item would be for transfer appropriations from that from special revenue fund to this new special revenue fund in the amount of $500,000 for the purchase of PPE and sanitizing supplies to be coordinated by the County Office of Emergency Management.
Motion to approve. Second.
And Mr. Barnes, is this amount, do you feel like this will carry you over to the end of the calendar year?
Good afternoon. Yes, the initial discussion was that this was basically to establish procedures to move us forward into that. If we see that PPE prices spike or if we have a substantial drop in price, whatever we may do in inventory. So original intent was to the end of the calendar year. However, this may require an additional appropriation. In fact, stock up beyond that.
I'll support this, but I just got a DA opinion, which I gave each of the budget board members, and I'll be sure to give you. And it's clear we can do it for some, but not for all. So as long as we are operating within the guidelines of what they prescribed.
But I'm assuming that's whom we may or may not provide to. Is that correct?
Exactly. And I would say the same thing. I would echo that based on this opinion, we need to follow this guideline as who we can and cannot give it to.
And given that, I might point out something that I raised just as an issue to watch earlier about, I know there have been some PPE or masks given out to citizens coming in, so we should probably reevaluate given this guy.
If I might ask, did that opinion by any chance include items received from Strategic National Stockpile that we currently have in stock?
That's probably a question we need to ask the district attorney if that includes that. And
I didn't ask specifically. I was just talking about the funding that we're voting on.
Yeah, this is just CARES Act fund. All right, further questions?
I have a question. On this item, if someone comes into our building and they are there to go to visit with our court clerk and they avail themselves of the sanitation devices on the wall, have they violated the law, or have we, by providing them, since they're effectively a non-county employee, they're working to respond to a state mandate of attending jury duty, and if they use this stuff that we provided, it sounds kind of silly, but
No, that's not silly at all. In fact, we've had extensive discussion along those lines in the Emergency Response Committee, and I'm sure it ties into the opinion that Mr. Mon has received from the District Attorney's Office. Some have likened that similar to other sanitary type measures or whatever that we provided for the public in the facility. The hand washing stations, for example, were there prior to COVID-19. Also, even down to toilet paper or whatever.
right.
And I think there's an overviewing, in my opinion, there's an overviewing umbrella of that too. Not only just to protect them, but to protect our county families.
I believe the DA answered that though. They said that's an indirect use, not a direct. The direct, if we directly give it to them, that's where we're breaking the rules. Indirectly falls under a total different hat. So
I haven't seen that yet, but I'm here.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm thinking that probably means if it's made available, it's in their choice as to whether to utilize. It would be a difference.
We stop people from getting on the elevator without a mask, correct?
I don't believe we actually stop them. We ask them not to, but I don't think we have the power to stop anybody.
Okay.
Any citizen to getting on a public elevator.
It's not formally enforceable.
Plus, the governor has now come out and declared that it's a matter of personal choice.
Well, looking here, and the opinion suggests that the county may use federal funds to purchase PPE for its employees and the public using county facilities. So, I mean, that would seem to take care of the soap in the bathroom and things of that nature, hand sanitizing stations and things of that nature. I understand the concern about benefiting the state, and I guess we might need further clarification if that means court clerk's office, which your, state or the courthouse where the judge's employees are state employees. So, but it sounds like, just based on the language of this opinion, just having been handed a copy of it, that it would suggest that having soap and toilet paper and hand sanitizer around is okay for people using our buildings. So, further questions?
I will move approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Board comments. Sir Taylor.
None, sir.
Mr. Reed.
I'd like to wish my beautiful wife happy anniversary, her anniversary today, 18 years.
All right. Congratulations, Mr. Warren.
I'd like to wish you a happy anniversary, too.
She's a good woman.
I'd like to give her an accommodation.
I give her a medal.
Mr. Miller. So also happy anniversary. That's a great occasion, and you all are a wonderful married couple and wonderful children, and we appreciate you. Mr. Long. Mr. Lee.
I'll just wish your wife a happy anniversary. I don't want to be the dummy up here, but I don't mind being the dummy up here. I'm not sure I understand fully the response that you got. Now, is this response?
I know we're probably gonna, and I'm not trying to cut you off, Treasurer, but I know we're probably on board comments gonna get the flag here pretty quick about straying into an agenda item, but your point is well taken, and it perhaps, that might be further clarification.
Okay,
So, and
I don't follow it.
fair enough. Mr. Stein?
No.
Okay. So motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
I'm trying to make the distinctions. Absolutely.
You're welcome.